Guys, WandaVision, the fifth episode, as I adjust something here for a second. But WandaVision, the fifth episode, dropped recently on Disney Plus, and a lot of people have been talking about it. John Campia has been talking about it. Black Nerd Comedy's been talking about it. Angry Joe's been talking about it. Everybody's been talking about this new episode, and basically, how it, along with episode 4, is kind of a game changer. And I totally see where they're coming from. You look at episode 4 and you kind of start seeing that things are, starting to fall into place. Vision starting to figure things out and everything. But episode 4 also gave us the outside perspective of, okay, this is what the agents of SWORD, which is a division I believe of SHIELD, is seeing. They're seeing what we're seeing, but they're trying to piece together all the pieces, of the puzzle to try to figure out, okay, why is this happening? How is this possible? This and that. They're trying to, identify a lot of the people that are trapped within there, as well, to see, who they are and try to get them out, and things like that. So, it's like, episode 4 upped the game, and episode 5 basically took it to another level. I told John Campia in a super chat, that he and his wife Ann were doing. They were doing the open discussion video with the spoilers, and I basically said that Wanda had gotten to a point that her powers are evolving. She nearly took out Thanos. And, so who's to say she can't, shape reality the way she wants? And I honestly think, that's what we're starting to see. We're starting to see the manifestation of that come to be. And to me, that's 75% of Wanda being in control, while the other 25% is something else that I talked about, last week, and in a previous video I did here. That went up. That went up 15%. So in other words, now it's 90% Wanda and 10% something else. And that 10% is still powerful enough, it's still strong enough, obviously, to, make sure things, stay the way they are, kind of remain as they are, kind of, make sure that if anything seems to be getting ready to go off the rails, that they keep them on track by doing something, or doing something here, or inserting somebody there. So, to me, like I said, episode 5 took it to a whole nother level. Everybody was always wondering, okay, how is Vision here? Well, obviously we now know why Vision is there. Because basically, according to the footage that we see in episode 5, courtesy of the acting director of SWORD and all that, Wanda broke in. She broke in, took the pieces of, Vision's body, which is not like, oh, here's an arm, here's a leg, and all that. No, he's in a lot of pieces. And she just took it, and she just took all of that with her, and I guess came here to Westview and created this sitcom reality, this alternate sitcom reality, to where by doing so she was able to manifest those pieces of Vision into an alternate version, into a different Vision, who basically now is questioning, why can't I remember what's going on, or why are we the only ones with children, this and that. He's starting to figure out that something is not right, that something is not, not all, it's not there, it's not, basically, he basically starting to figure out that Wanda's not being truthful with him. And, she's starting to do things that even he's wondering, and wondering, like, wait a minute, I thought we weren't supposed to show what we can do, or I thought you didn't want this exposed or that exposed, and how does Agnes know what we're capable of, and this and that, and Vision is definitely, this version of Vision is starting to really kind of piece the bits and pieces of the puzzle together. He's starting to bring it all together. And I think what's going to happen is the answer he's looking for is when he tries to go outside the wall, outside that bubble in an upcoming episode, and he perhaps sees a part of him fall apart. That's when it's going to dawn on him, wait a minute, that Agnes girl is right. I'm not supposed to be here. I'm not supposed to be alive. Because there's an episode coming up. I don't know if it's the next episode or an episode afterwards. It takes place during Halloween. Vision touches her, and obviously she looks at Vision. She's asking, "Am I dead?" And he's like, "No, why?" And he responds with a question of his own. It's just saying, where he says, "No, why?" And her answer is, "Because you are." And it does, and that basically, by him doing that to Agnes, ties into what he does in episode 5. When he touches the computer, he gets that email from Sword from the outside, basically, and then he touches this guy's mind, and the guy that he touches, coworker, all of a sudden, it's like he snaps out of his trance, like, "What am I doing here? You gotta help me. She won't let us go." And what's interesting is when he does this to his coworker, the coworker says "she," but he doesn't specifically say, "Oh, it's Wanda," or "Oh, it's Agnes," or "Oh, it's the female version of Mephisto." He doesn't say. He just says "she." And a lot of people are now wondering, okay, is he talking about Wanda or is he talking about somebody else? And we don't know. We don't know what he's talking about. Honestly, we don't know who he's talking about or what he's talking about. He's just saying, she is, keeping us prisoner. You need to help us. And then that connects to what Agnes says in the upcoming episode, where when she gets snapped out of it temporarily, she's like, "Are you here to help us?" So something's going on, and my main thought on it is when you look at how Wanda reacts to the sword. She comes out of the bubble. She's as we've seen. She's dressed as we've seen her in Avengers and all that. She takes basically this drone that's disguised as an '80s toy helicopter or something, throws it back at them, and she's just mad, and she gets a little bit of her accent back, but she's basically telling them, "Look, I'm giving you a warning. This is your one and only warning. Leave me alone, and get out of here. Leave me be. Let me have my happiness. Leave." And there are parts in there where she says she's got what she's wanted. She's got what she's wanted back, and she's not going to let it go. She's not going to lose it again. And she even mentions that you were going to use Vision as a weapon, and I'm not going to let that happen. But then on top of that, as I mentioned, she also states that she's got what she's wanted back, and she's not going to let that go again. She's not going to lose that again. So, obviously, from what a lot of people have suspected, she's not all there anymore. She is mentally breaking down, if not already broken down, to the point that, she's beyond saving, and if she is, and even if she is still, capable of being saved, it's going to result in her being put into a situation that we saw similarly or identically at the end of Winter Soldier. Or not Winter Soldier, but at the end of Winter Soldier. And that is when we saw her and Piretto inside these containments, and we saw her doing this. She was just testing her powers, her abilities, but it was acting like, she was not mentally all there. It's like she was gone already during that point. So my speculation is, Wanda is going to probably end up in a similar situation when this is all said and done. Whether it's at the end of WandaVision, whether it's at the end of Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, she's going to end up in a similar situation where she's going to be put in a containment unit, whether it's within S.H.I.E.L.D., within S.W.O.R.D., if the possibility that some people are speculating that Professor Charles Xavier could show up, at the Xavier Institute, whatever the case may be, she's going to be placed into she's going to be placed back into some kind of containment to where we're just going to see a newer version of what we saw at the end of Winter Soldier, where she's going to be like this. she's just going to be gone. Mentally. Mentally she's going to be gone. Now, again, that's just a speculation, that's just assumption, and that's the one good thing that this show does. It makes you guess from episode to episode, week after week, as to what's going to happen next. It's like Kevin Feige has that old saying that Roddy Piper used to have, like, just when they think they have all the answers, I change the questions. And that's what he's doing here. I mean, John Campea, is dead set on a lot of the things that he feels is not going to happen or possibly will happen. But that falls into what Kevin Feige goes by right now, which is, oh, John Campea thinks he has the answers, I'll change the questions. And that's what he's doing. It's the same with me. It's the same with Black Nerd. It's the same with Angry Joe. Oh, those guys think they have the answers, I'll change the questions. And that's what he's doing. And one of the biggest speculations people have is Mephisto involved? And if Agnes is tied to Mephisto, well, here's the thing. Episode 6 or 7, whenever she gets her memory restored temporarily, I think that's going to tell us, what side of the coin she's on. Because, yes, she does seem very invested in the kids. She seems very invested in them. She seems to show up at the most opportune times and everything. And I think come episode 6 or 7, when she gets her memory temporarily restored by Vision, that, she's going to reveal maybe kind of why she's there. Not only, and I think what she's going to reveal, I should say, is maybe she's there because she wanted to help Wanda. Maybe she, saw that Wanda was going through a lot. She wanted to give her something like a safe haven to kind of have her, happy ending, kind of have her, time with Vision, the time that she wanted, and then when the time was right, drop the facade and let things get back to normal, thinking, oh, okay, she got what she wanted, now she can move on with her life. And my assumption is Wanda's like, no, I don't want to lose this, I want to keep it around, and that's why things are as they are. And again, I think we might get a little bit of revelation from Agnes, perhaps that she was there to help Wanda at first, but now all of a sudden Wanda's taking full control. Like, it plays into the whole, Wanda is 90% in control, 10% not, and that 10% lies within Wanda and whoever else is pulling the strings. And that other person that could be pulling the strings, or other entity, a lot of people have speculated as being Mephisto. And if you've read the comics and everything, Mephisto is literally the devil. And Mephisto basically, is known in the Marvel Comics to prey on the weakness, prey on the fragileness of those that are insecure, or those that are emotionally and mentally broken or breaking down. He preys on that. I mean, if you want a good example of what I'm talking about, check out Linklater's One More Day review for that he did. I think, what was it, his 100, one of his anniversary videos, one of his 300th, 400th video, or something, 200th video. I'll link it at the end of this video, but check that out. Because there Linkara basically, in character and sort of in a shoot as Louis Lovehog, explains why One More Day is a bad story, but also explains why Mephisto wanting the marriage of Peter Parker and Mary Jane in return for, let's say, Peter wanting to get back to sort of a normal life and all that he had previously, is ridiculous. It's like, why would you do this? Why would the writer Joe Quesada write this in there and all that? So, yeah, if you want a good idea of, what Mephisto is capable of, again, check out Linkara's One More Day review. That pretty much will give you the idea of exactly who Mephisto is, and what he's capable of in the Marvel Universe, and possibly the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Because if what people are speculating is true, and he's the one behind all this, or at least he's the one that's in that 10% that's still making sure things, remain as they are, and he's kind of continuously pulling those strings on Wanda, still kind of using whatever control he has left to, ensure that his plans go uninterrupted. it basically, for him, it basically plays into who he is. And, for him to do this to Wanda, what he's noticing is someone that is emotionally broken. She is emotionally, mentally broken, and thus she's easy prey for him to, manipulate and get to do what he wants. And my assumption, and here's the other speculation and assumption I have, that he sent Agnes, because Agnes in this, Agatha Hartwell, is tied to him in the comics. So I'm assuming here in the MCU version, Agatha was there doing his bidding, was only going to do it for a short time, kind of, give Wanda a safe haven, and then kind of maybe report back to him what, she's discovered about Wanda and this and that. But Mephisto probably saw, this is too much of a good thing. I see how powerful she is. She's perfect. I wanted to keep doing these things. I wanted to keep, changing reality and all that. And, that, to me, that's pretty much what I see going on here. I think Mephisto originally wanted Agnes to keep an eye on her, and maybe Agnes created, like I said earlier, this safe haven to help her out, to kind of learn about her, learn what she's capable of, and da-da-da. And then when the time was right, drop the facade. But Mephisto's like, not so fast, Agnes. I like what I'm seeing here. Let's keep it going. Let's let her have her thing. Let's let her go. I see potential here with her, and I see potential at possibly having some new vessels to utilize to come into the realm. Because part of the story that people are speculating on is he wants to use the kids as, a means to, to get into, into the Earth realm, kind of, invade Earth, kind of have a vessel to, walk within, if you know what I mean. But, it's just mere speculation. And I know, basically, like everybody else, it sounds like I'm just rambling and, going off on things here and there in this video. I'm also kind of keeping an eye on the living room right now, because I'm trying to do this as best I can with my mom here, and she's sleeping on the couch, so doing the best I can with this. But anyway, like I said, he's probably, and again, mere speculation, he's probably like, look, I see the potential here. She's a lot more powerful than you, Agnes, and I wanted to keep going. And what? Maybe this is what I need. This is the person I need, who's the key for me to enter the realm of the living, or enter the Earth realm. And I'm going to utilize whatever methods I have to do, which would explain why Evan Peters, Quicksilver from the X-Men movies, appeared as her brother at the end of episode 5. Because when Wanda says, I didn't do that, and Wanda's explaining, I don't know how this happened either, part of that, you could tell she's being truthful about, but there's also part of it that that she's kind of lying about. Because just previously, before that, when she's getting in an argument with Vision and they're about to fight, he's telling her, you can't control me, and the way she answers him is very similar to how she talked to Thanos. Because when Thanos is like, I don't even know who you are, and she's like, you will. Vision's like, you can't control me, and she's like, can't I? And it's very similar vibes. Because again, here you notice that this is somebody that is mentally and emotionally broken, that needs help. That needs extreme help, extreme intervention. And whether it's Doctor Strange or Charles Xavier or whoever that helps do that, it's up in the air. But, to me, I should say, when she says, that she doesn't know how this started, that she didn't do what just happened with the knock on the door, there's part of that you believe, and there's part of that you don't believe. Like, maybe she had a hand in, okay, I need a distraction. Okay, boom, get some, I need a distraction, and maybe Mephisto's, reading her mind, like, okay, I know what to do. Boom, bring her in. And that's just my assumption. I mean, she's even confused at times, or at least seemingly confused, at how her kids can rapidly age from babies to 7 to 10 in a matter of moments. So, it's one of those situations to where, again, if Mephisto is a big option, if he's going to be revealed as the person behind all this, and thus this sets him up as being like the big bad for the next major Avengers film, in the middle of this current phase, then, okay, fine. It shows that he can manipulate anybody that's mentally and fragilely, damaged, and get them to do what he wants. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens here. But again, my speculation and theory is, at the end of all this, whether it's at the end of WandaVision, whether it's the end of this 3-part story, which begins here in WandaVision, continues in Spider-Man 3, and then concludes in Doctor Strange 2, I think what's going to happen is she's going to end up like this. Back as we first saw her at the end of Winter Soldier, where she's just in a containment unit, and she's like this. I've got a feeling that's where we're heading, because even if she helps restore what happens or not, in Multiverse of Madness, her mind is going to be so completely fried and damaged that, she's going to end up in that similar situation, like I said, we saw at the end of Winter Soldier, and whether it's in the hands of S.H.I.E.L.D., and whether it's within the confines of S.H.I.E.L.D. or S.W.O.R.D., or even Xavier himself at his school, where she's just in this room all by herself because, mentally, she has to, mentally she's not all there, and she needs help getting back, mentally getting her mind straight again, and learning to basically move on and let go. It's going to be an interesting ride. So honestly, yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. But honestly, my speculation and theory is basically she's going to end up as we first saw her, and that's basically in some kind of containment unit, doing like this, because mentally, she's going to be gone. She's mentally not going to be there. So let me know what you guys think. What are your thoughts on my speculation and theories on where I think, or what I think potentially will be the result of Wanda? Basically what will be the end game for Wanda and all this? Let me know what your thoughts are down below. I know I sound like I rambled a bit. Like I said, I'm trying to keep an eye on my mom right now, because, when you live with family, basically, especially your mom or your father, if not both your parents, it's a little hard to do videos sometimes. So, yeah, just sorry if I seem a little distracted and all that, and as well as rambling, but just wanted to get this off my chest finally, as well as, like I said, I'm keeping an eye on what's going on. So, again, let me know what your guys' thoughts are in the comments, as well as in the live chats during this premiere, and I will talk to y'all later. But yeah, it sounds like it basically looks like and sounds like things are starting to pick up in a big way, not just with the episode itself, no, not the episodes, but with the show itself, where basically Kevin Feige is, taking the saying of Roddy Piper of, you think you got the answers? Well, I'm going to change the questions, as well as it definitely looks like it's picking up along with that. It's definitely picking up in the speculation and theory department when it comes to those, trying to figure out, okay, we're seeing this, we got this, so it's, obviously it's got to lead to that or this. So it's going to be really interesting, like I said, going for the rest of the season, and going into Spider-Man 3 and then Doctor Strange 2. And that's all I can say. So let me know what you guys' thoughts are down below. Comment if you like. And I am out.